Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Drive to Thrive. In this video, I want to tell you guys about my $10,000 secret. And yes, I know what you're thinking, and no, this isn't the kind of video where by the end of it, I'm going to be selling you some courses or asking you for money or even telling you that in the next 12 months, you're going to be making six-figure income and quitting your job. So please stick around until the end. So 2 years ago, I was sitting on Facebook, just kind of scrolling through people's feeds, creeping on people's pages, like I'm pretty sure everybody does, or is that just me? Well, anyways, when I came across this ad that said, Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. Now, the title was already captivating enough, and so I decided to click on the link. When I clicked on it, it said they're going to be hosting a seminar in my area talking about a few different things like the real estate. They had some speakers come on, etc., etc. There was limited seats, so if anybody was interested, you could sign up. At the time, I was kind of working on my side hustle, and I figured, you know what, this might be a great time to go out, maybe meet some like-minded people, do a little bit of networking, and so sure enough, I signed up. In 2 weeks, I drove out to the airport, to one of the hotels up there, where to my surprise, there was actually quite a bit of people attending the seminar. After they got us all seated down and everything was ready, they had the first speaker come on. His name was John, and he started talking about the real estate, which makes sense because if you guys know Dean Graziosi, you know that he's made a lot of his money in the real estate. So anyways, John was talking about all these different strategies, about how the market is heating up, about how he works for this company, that they help to finance people that don't have the money, they help you find the deals, they'll also provide all the support you need. And if you were interested, you could go to the back of the room and sign up for their courses. Now, I personally wasn't interested. I was more there for networking, like I said, and then also they mentioned there'd be a free book. So anyways, sitting there, just kind of talking to a few other people, then the next person comes on. His name was Michael, and then Michael starts talking about the stock market, which was a little bit closer to me because at the time I was actually investing in the stock market for about 4 years. So I knew a lot of the things that he was talking about. He even mentioned some of the companies that I was personally following. He had my attention, And then as he's talking, he drops this word, options. Now, at the time, I had zero clue what options were. I never heard this word even before, but he started explaining it a little bit, and sure enough, he got my attention. So anyways, at the end of his 20-minute speech, he says, hey, if you're interested, go to the back of the room, and you can sign up for our classes coming up in about 2 weeks, So I'm sitting there a little bit skeptical, I'm not sure what to think of this, but then I see about half the class get up and start signing up, for this seminar. And sure enough, FOMO kicks in. I'm like, well, shit, I don't want to miss out. So you know what? I got up as well, went over to the back, whipped up my credit card, paid for the scores, which actually Mike mentioned that, if you met some criteria, you could get up to 100% of your money back, So I figured, this is a pretty good deal. So anyways, I signed up, went home, told my wife about it, she was cool. And so another 2 weeks go by, I drive out to another hotel. This time it was closer to my house. So I'm like, yay, I don't have to drive as far, this is awesome. Again, there was about 80 to 100 people for this seminar. They got us all seated down. We all get a name tag, it's all professional. People are dressed like fancy. I was like, holy shit, this is pretty legit. So anyways, then they start talking about just what options are, what to kind of expect, what they're used for, just to kind of give you some introduction to it, because a lot of the people there, they've never actually dealt with options before. On the next day, they dive a little bit deeper. They start explaining about a few different strategies, how you can make pretty nice money off of it. Then they get some guest speakers up there. They kind of tell their story, how they build themselves up. Even the lady that was doing the seminar for the entire duration, she's trying to relate to us, saying like, hey, I was in your spot about 6 years ago. This is how I learned it, through the same people. Today it's awesome. I'm making pretty nice money. I even got hired on by the company to go and do some seminars around Canada and the US. So that was really nice. got some information, and then on the third day, they're like, we started recapping what we learned, and then they dropped the famous line, hey, if you guys are interested, we're selling more courses, you know? But this time it wasn't just like a chump change, it was like $5,000 to $10,000, and then their creme de la creme of a course was $20,000. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, holy shit, $20,000 for a course? Like, what the hell are these guys like teaching you? In my mind, I'm kind of like skeptical at this point. I'm thinking, you know what? It's probably like one of these scams where they're just looking for weak and naive people so they can take money from them. So anyways, you know, the seminar ends. I'm like, you know what? This is cool. I got what I came here for. I got some like base information. If I wanted to, I could go back on YouTube, you know, or Google this stuff up and just learn a little bit more, you know. So I get over to my car, I start it up, I'm ready to drive away, and then just something, I don't know, call it FOMO, call it like curiosity, just something, you know, wouldn't let me just drive away. I was like, the whole time in my head, I'm like, man, what if this is like the opportunity I was waiting for? This is the universe giving me like a chance, you know, to get involved with something that I'm not comfortable with, and, you know, maybe bring it to the next level. So anyways, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, I should go back and see if I can work out a deal with these guys. So I go back into the hotel, I sit down, I kind of tell them what I'm looking for, what kind of my expectations are, and then sure enough, you know, I'm able to work out a deal with them and then sign up for the $10,000 course. Now, at the time, I was looking at it like, you know what, I'm investing in myself, you know, this is good, this is like going out to a college or a university, getting some kind of courses, you know, that I paid for, like, nothing to worry about. Except this was a course that I signed up for through Facebook. I had zero idea what this company was about. I had no idea if this was even like legit, you know, or if these guys are literally just like scamming people. So shit, you know, like doubt kind of started creeping in, buyer's remorse, you know, etc, etc. But anyways, you know, next day I logged on, sure enough, everything was working. I'm like, you know what, I signed up, I'm gonna give it my 100%, I'm gonna learn as much information as I can at that time. And looking back at it today, it was probably the greatest $10,000 I spent in the last 2 years. The information that I learned, positive, is gonna help me throughout the rest of my life. As long as the stock market and the options market is available, I'll be able to go out there and trade it. And so I decided to share this information with you guys because I believe that instead of teaching us some of the stuff that they do in school, they should be teaching us how to manage our money, you know. So like I said, I won't be charging anything. I'm not looking to sell you any courses or anything like that. What I do ask in return though is that you guys support my channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and smash the like button. It's gonna help me greatly to get this content out there to other viewers like you, and also help me grow this channel. So if you guys are interested and you're ready to learn something new, then grab your pens, your papers, maybe your favorite coffee, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers!